November 1898, the Cotswolds, England. Behind wrought iron gates stretching a quarter-mile, a neo-Gothic palace rises from manicured parkland. 157 rooms, 400 doors, 52 chimneys piercing the morning fog, 400 keys. One for every threshold, every closet, every secret. But here's what the keys couldn't unlock: the truth about what it cost to keep those doors opening. 37 servants worked below stairs you'd never see. The coal bills alone consumed £3,000 annually, what a schoolteacher earned in 15 years. And one room, on the third floor east wing, stayed locked for 40 years. What was someone trying to keep hidden? Stand at the southern approach today, and Plantagenet House still commands awe. The limestone facade glows honey gold in afternoon light, each carved corbel and Gothic tracery window frame, speaking of an age when excess wasn't a vice, but a statement of permanence. The entrance hall rises 3 stories, a cathedral of domestic space where morning sun filters through stained glass, depicting medieval kings, Edward I, Edward III, Richard Plantagenet himself. The plasterwork ceiling took Italian craftsmen 8 months to complete. Every acanthus leaf, every cherub face, carved by hand. Walk the grounds. 200 acres of designed landscape formal gardens with box hedges turned to geometric precision. A serpentine lake fed by diverted streams, woodlands threaded with riding paths. In spring, 10,000 daffodils bloom in orchestrated waves of yellow. The stone bridge crossing the lake cost more than most manor houses. Its railings feature bronze lions, each weighing 300 pounds, cast in a Birmingham foundry and hauled here by teams of draft horses. But that's just the surface. Beneath the beauty lies an infrastructure of staggering complexity. The basement corridors stretch for half-a-mile service tunnels where servants moved unseen, carrying coal, water, linens, meals. The boiler room housed 3 furnaces, each 6 feet tall, requiring constant feeding. In winter, they consumed 2 tons of coal weekly. The estate had its own gasworks, its own water tower, its own electrical generator installed in 1902, one of the first private homes in England with electric lighting throughout. The numbers tell their own story. Original construction cost: £184,000 in 1895 currency. In today's money, roughly £28 million, $35 million. Annual operating costs in 1900, £12,000, equivalent to $1.5 million today. Property taxes quintupled between 1900 and 1920. Insurance premiums climbed steadily as the house aged. Repairs to the roof alone, replacing Welsh slate damaged by storms, required £8,000 in 1923. 400 keys hung in the housekeeper's room. One key ring could weigh 5 pounds. Every morning, she distributed them to underservants. Every night, they returned them. Each key represented not just a door, but a responsibility, a system, a world of choreographed labor invisible to those who lived upstairs. And that locked room on the 3rd floor? The one sealed since 1898, its keyhole painted over, its existence barely mentioned in family papers? That's where our story really begins. How did one family convince themselves they needed 400 doors? What were they trying to prove, and to whom? And why, in the end? Did those doors start closing one by one until only ghosts walked these halls? Rewind to 1887. Sir Reginald Ashworth Plantagenet stands in a London solicitor's office, having just inherited a baronetcy and a fortune. He's 42 years old. His father built that fortune in textiles Lancashire cotton mills that ran 20 hours a day, employing children for pennies. Reginald grew up wealthy but never noble, never accepted by the old aristocracy. At Cambridge, he was tolerated but not embraced. At his club, he dined alone more often than not. The inherited money amounted to £220,000. By Victorian standards, staggering wealth. Enough to live comfortably forever. But Reginald didn't want comfort. He wanted vindication. He commissioned a genealogist. For £500, the man produced a family tree connecting the Ashworths, through carefully blurred connections, to a minor branch of the Plantagenet dynasty. It was speculative at best, fabricated at worst. Reginald didn't care. He changed his surname by deed poll, Ashworth Plantagenet. He designed a coat of arms featuring lions and fleurs de lis. He began signing letters with a flourish beneath his new name. Then he went shopping for land. The Cotswolds property came available in 1889, a failed estate, its previous owner bankrupt from gambling debts. 200 acres, gently rolling, with a Palladian house from 1760 that Reginald immediately ordered demolished. He wanted no reminders of anyone else's past. This would be his creation, his monument, his proof. He hired Giles Worthington, an architect who'd studied at the École des Beaux-Arts and specialized in Gothic revival. Worthington drew inspiration from medieval royal residences, Windsor, Westminster, the Tower of London, but he modernized ruthlessly. Steel framework beneath the stone, modern plumbing throughout, central heating via radiators, revolutionary for the era. Every bedroom with its own fireplace, but also steam heat for bitter mornings. Construction began in spring 1892, 200 workers at peak. They excavated the basement by hand, thousands of tons of earth removed with shovels and wheelbarrows. Stone came from quarries in Bath, 20 miles south, transported by rail and wagon. The timber for roof trusses, massive oak beams, some 40 feet long, was felled in Scotland and shipped to Bristol, then hauled overland. Reginald visited the site weekly, arriving in his carriage with blueprints and complaints. He demanded changes constantly. Windows repositioned for better light, doors widened for grandeur. A tower added to the north wing, then partially demolished and rebuilt when he decided it looked too French. The architect protested, workers grumbled, costs spiraled. But Reginald had a vision. He imagined hosting royalty. He pictured future generations speaking his name with reverence. He saw himself founding a dynasty that would endure for centuries, the Ashworth Plantagenets taking their place among England's great families. They didn't know it yet, but Parliament was already debating tax reforms that would make such estates impossible to maintain. Social currents were shifting. The empire's confidence, which seemed unshakable in 1892, would crack within a generation. The house was completed in October 1895. Reginald moved in that winter with his wife Eleanor, his two daughters Charlotte and Beatrice, and his teenage son Henry. The staff numbered 37. Butler, housekeeper, cook, 3 kitchen maids, 4 housemaids, 2 footmen, valets, ladies' maids, coachmen, grooms, gardeners, a gamekeeper. The inauguration ball in December attracted 300 guests. Champagne flowed. An orchestra played in the Great Hall. Ladies in silk gowns swept through doorways beneath gas chandeliers that flickered like captured stars. Reginald stood at the top of the grand staircase and smiled, believing he'd finally arrived. He was wrong. The arithmetic turned brutal almost immediately. Start with the servants. 37 people, each requiring wages, food, housing, uniforms. The butler earned £70 annually. Housemaids got £18. Added up, £950 yearly in wages alone. But that's just the beginning. They consumed food, tons of it. The kitchen went through 50 pounds of flour weekly, 30 pounds of butter, 60 eggs daily. The coal for cooking and heating, 200 tons annually at £15 per ton. The coal bills alone, £3,000. Property taxes, based on the house's assessed value, £520 annually in 1895, rising to £1,200 by 1910 as Parliament sought revenue. Insurance premiums, £340 per year, covering fire, storm damage liability. Maintenance, roof repairs, painting, masonry pointing, gutter replacement, window glazing. Every expense compounded. Then the hidden labor, the grinding daily choreography that kept the illusion alive. The housemaids rose at 5:30 a.m. By 6, they were lighting fires in 27 bedrooms, carrying coal in buckets up narrow servants' stairs, their hands blackening, their backs aching. They emptied chamber pots, filled water jugs, drew curtains, swept grates. By 8, the family breakfasted, unaware that 4 women had worked 3 hours to make that morning comfort possible. The footmen polished silver daily hundreds of pieces. Candlesticks, serving platters, cutlery, tea services. It took 2 hours. The knifemen sharpened every blade weekly. The lampmen cleaned and filled 43 oil lamps before electricity arrived, then maintained a generator afterward. Below stairs, in that invisible world of service corridors, a parallel universe operated on rigid hierarchy. The butler ruled absolutely. The housekeeper controlled the female staff with an iron will. Servants ate separately by rank, upper servants at one table, lower servants at another. They wore different uniforms. They had different privileges. And they were forbidden to be seen. A housemaid caught by family members in a public corridor faced dismissal. Servants moved through the house like ghosts, using backstairs, service doors, hidden passages. When the family walked through rooms, fires were already lit, surfaces already dusted, though no worker was visible. The illusion of effortless grandeur required exhausting effort rendered invisible. Consider the laundry. Each bed needed fresh linens, weekly sheets, pillowcases, blankets. The family's clothing, shirts, dresses, undergarments, all washed by hand. 3 laundry maids worked 6 days weekly in the basement washhouse, scrubbing, wringing, hanging, in summer, bearable. In winter, their hands cracked and bled from the cold water and harsh soap. The kitchen operated as a factory. The cook commanded 3 maids who prepared 4 meals daily: breakfast, lunch, tea, dinner. Dinner for family and guests required courses: soup, fish, entree, roast, pudding, savory, dessert. Each course demanded hours of preparation. The coal range had to be maintained at exact temperatures. Timing had to be perfect. And that locked room? In 1898, Reginald's daughter Charlotte died in childbirth, age 19. The birth happened in that 3rd-floor bedroom during a difficult labor that lasted 18 hours. The doctor couldn't save her. Reginald ordered the room sealed immediately. The blood-stained bedding was burned. The furniture remained. The door was locked, the key destroyed. Painters covered the keyhole. No one spoke of it. Eleanor, the mother, descended into profound depression. She stopped leaving her bedroom. Servants brought meals she barely touched. The house grew quieter, darker, despite its 400 doors and sun-lit windows. The estate required £12,000 annually to operate. Reginald's investment income, based on securities and textile stock dividends, generated roughly £9,000. The shortfall, £3,000. He began selling assets. Bonds first, then parcels of land, then artwork. By 1910, he'd sold 40 acres to a neighboring landowner. By 1914, another 60. Behind closed doors, arguments erupted. Eleanor begged him to economize, dismiss half the servants, close unused wings, simplify. Reginald refused. To reduce staff was to admit failure, to acknowledge his vision was unsustainable. His pride wouldn't allow it. World War I arrived like a storm that had been gathering on the horizon. August 1914, Britain declared war on Germany. Within months, everything changed. Reginald's son Henry enlisted immediately. He was 24, eager for glory. He died in the Somme offensive, July 1916, shot through the chest in the first hour of battle. His body was never recovered. The telegram arrived at Plantagenet House on a Tuesday morning. Eleanor collapsed. Reginald retreated to his study and didn't emerge for 3 days. The war consumed servants too. Footmen enlisted. Grooms joined cavalry regiments. Gardeners disappeared into infantry battalions. By 1917, the staff had shrunk to 19. Gardens went untended. Weeds invaded flower beds. The hedges grew shaggy. Taxation increased savagely. Parliament needed revenue for war. Estate taxes rose. Income taxes climbed to rates previously unimaginable, up to 30% on the highest incomes. The Finance Act of 1919 introduced a super tax on wealth. Property taxes doubled. Reginald's dividends shrank as textile mills struggled. Wartime shortages disrupted production. Labor strikes followed the war's end. His investment portfolio, once generating £9,000 annually, produced barely £5,000 by 1920. But the house's costs didn't decline. Coal remained expensive. Repairs accumulated. The roof developed leaks. Water damage spread through the east wing's plasterwork. Those cherubs the Italian craftsman had carved now stained and crumbling. Eleanor died in her sleep, March 1921. The doctor called it heart failure. The servants whispered it was grief. She'd lost her daughter, her son, her husband's attention. She'd lived 23 years in a palace that had become a prison. Reginald was 76, alone in 157 rooms with shrinking staff and mounting debts. His surviving daughter Beatrice had married and moved to London. She visited rarely. The house echoed with emptiness. In 1923, he suffered a stroke. Partial paralysis left him confined to a wheelchair. His speech slurred. His mind remained sharp enough to understand the arithmetic. The house was consuming capital at an unsustainable rate. In 5 years, the money would be gone. By 1925, the once great estate was sliding into decay. Sections of the house closed entirely. Furniture shrouded in dust sheets, windows shuttered. The staff had dwindled to 7. A butler too old to find other employment, a cook, 3 maids, 2 gardeners. They worked in a house built for 37, trying to maintain the illusion. Reginald died in February 1928, in his wheelchair, in the study where he'd once dreamed of dynasties. He was 83. The obituary in the Times mentioned his textile fortune, his architectural legacy. It didn't mention the debts, the sold land, the decades of striving for acceptance that never came. Beatrice inherited. She arrived from London for the funeral, walked through the silent rooms, and made her decision within a week. Sell everything, liquidate the estate, close this chapter. But who would buy it? The house sat empty for 2 years. Rain leaked through damaged roof sections. Vandals broke windows. Local teenagers spread rumors of ghosts, Charlotte's spirit wandering the sealed room, Henry's footsteps echoing in the halls. In 1930, salvation arrived from an unexpected source. A wealthy American industrialist named James Thornton, touring England, saw the property and fell in love with its Gothic grandeur. He bought it for £32,000 less than 1/6 the original construction cost. He planned to use it as a summer residence, visiting 2 months annually. That arrangement lasted 8 years. Then World War II erupted. The British government requisitioned Plantagenet House in 1940, converting it to a military hospital. Soldiers recovering from wounds filled the bedrooms. Operating theaters occupied the drawing rooms. The Great Hall became a mess hall. The gardens grew vegetables for the war effort. The military use saved the house. Government maintenance prevented collapse. When the war ended, Thornton didn't want it back too expensive, too far away. He donated the property to the National Trust in 1947, taking a substantial tax deduction. The trust faced a dilemma. Plantagenet House was architecturally significant, but ruinously expensive to maintain. They considered demolition. But post-war Britain was demolishing country houses at an alarming rate, 1 every 5 days through the 1950s. Preservationists rallied. The house was listed Grade I, protected by law. Slowly, painfully, they stabilized it. Emergency roof repairs in 1949. Window restoration through the 1950s. Plasterwork conservation in the 1960s. It took 40 years of incremental work, funded by admissions, donations, grants. Today, Plantagenet House opens to visitors April through October. You can walk those entrance halls Reginald built to impress peers who never fully accepted him. You can see the servants' corridors where housemaids carried coal at dawn. The kitchen displays Victorian cooking equipment. The bedrooms show how the family lived and how the staff worked. The sealed room on the third floor? The trust opened it in 1985, carefully documenting everything. Charlotte's room remained eerily preserved, the furniture, the wallpaper, even her clothing still hanging in the wardrobe. It's now interpreted as a memorial to Victorian childbirth mortality, a reminder that wealth couldn't protect women from the dangers of bringing life into the world. Visitors number approximately 40,000 annually. Admission fees cover basic operations, but the house requires perpetual fundraising. A new roof campaign in 2018 sought £3 million. Heating systems need updating. Stone conservation continues endlessly. The 400 keys? Most are displayed in the housekeeper's room, arranged on boards with labels identifying each door. Some doors have been permanently sealed, some keys are lost. But the collection remains, a tangible symbol of complexity, of the elaborate systems required to maintain Victorian grandeur. Stand in the entrance hall today, looking up at those Italian plasterwork ceilings, and you're standing at the intersection of beauty and burden. This house represents the apex of Victorian ambition, the belief that wealth could buy immortality, that architecture could secure status, that sheer opulence could overcome questions of birth and acceptance. It failed, of course. Reginald never achieved the social standing he craved. The dynasty he imagined ended within 2 generations. The house that was supposed to last centuries nearly disappeared within 50 years. But here's the paradox. By failing as a family home, it succeeded as something else. As a museum, Plantagenet House teaches lessons its builder never intended. It reveals the hidden labor behind elegance. It exposes the mathematics of unsustainable excess. It reminds us that every door we open has a cost: someone's labor, someone's resources, someone's sacrifice. 400 keys. Some open doors to splendor. Some open doors to suffering. Some remained in pockets, never used, guarding rooms that stayed dark for decades. The question isn't whether we should celebrate or condemn houses like this. The question is simpler. What do we choose to unlock? What do we choose to preserve? And what truths do we find when we finally open the doors that someone, long ago, decided should stay sealed? The last visitors leave at 5 o'clock. The staff locks the entrance doors, not 400 keys anymore, just a modern deadbolt. Evening light slants through Gothic windows, casting shadows that dance across floors where servants once scrubbed on their knees. Somewhere in the basement corridors, the heating system rumbles to life, maintaining the temperature at preservation-safe levels. Reginald Ashworth Plantagenet built a palace to prove he belonged. Instead, he built a monument to the price of belonging. The keys remain. The doors remain. The question echoes through empty halls. What are we still trying to unlock?